Welcome to this new mod map tour on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Welcome to UNGETSHEIM. This is a new map. It's a new map to console. I'm not sure about PC. I think it's new all around. By Butarinur. This is set in Franconia, Bavarian region in Germany, not too far away from Nuremberg and Geiselsberg, the map that came out recently as well. I've had a quick whiz round just to familiarise myself with what's going on. We'll have a quick look in the map first. We start central, but kind of north of central in the town itself. First thing you notice immediately is, one, how many fields there are, but they're all fairly small. Prices aren't too expensive. I like this a lot. This is based on a real place in Germany. There's a river that winds its way along the kind of river valley. That's the Wernitz River. Real river, actually exists. And you've got a lot of these pasture fields, grass fields either side. Now there are some custom crop types, fruit types, so the grass is slightly different to the standard in-game one. You've got a lot of grass pastures around this map. There is forestry on the left and right hand sides of the map, east and west. But what I like about this, as opposed to, I do like big maps, don't get me wrong, I like big farming, like big machinery, but when you've got to pay 1.2 million for a field, it takes a long time to build up to buying a new field. You know, it's insane. On a map like this, you can buy fields fairly cheaply and gradually work your way up. What you can also do on plots, because there aren't that many hedges and fences and things between the fields on this map, you can then plough them together. So it gives you that ability to start from scratch, start early, and gradually work your way up to becoming a mega farmer, that kind of thing. So, what do we start with on New Farmer? On New Farmer, we start with Field 76. We start with the little farmyard area here, which is right in the middle of the town, and Field 37. Field prices themselves, 172 for that one. There are some tiny ones. Field 41 here, 33,000. And that's kind of my point, is if you gradually work your way up, 53,000, 69,000, 67,000, you know, you buy one, then do a load of crop, do the next one, buy it up, and then gradually build up your farm. The other thing I like about this as well, it's picturesque, looks amazing. There aren't that many sell points, but the sell points pretty much follow the roads, the main roads, which follow the river. They're in the town around there, and you get this kind of feeling, unlike a lot of maps where they kind of spread the sell points around the map to give you somewhere to go to each one. This one, you get that feeling that when you head off into the fields for the day to do your farm work, you are heading off into the fields. You know, it seems a very, very big map. It's a standard size, but it just seems very, very big. So yeah, prices aren't too bad. BGA is a little bit pricey. That'll set you back nearly 260,000. So it's not cheap to do it. But what I do like is the forestry. The forestry you can buy again in small clumps. So if you want to do a bit of forestry, you haven't got to spend millions to buy the entire forest. You could buy a plot, do some forestry, maybe buy the next one, or buy another plot somewhere else, or just have a dabble in forestry. It's not going to break the bank to have a go at doing that, and I really do like that. We've got a few sell points. We've got the UNGETSHEIM Müller. Müller is mill. Baywar. Baywar's interesting because that was on Geiselsberg as well. And I've done a bit of digging. Baywar is an agricultural company based in Munich, and they specialise in agricultural agriculture, building materials, and the energy sectors. Provide trading, strategic, and other miscellaneous services in that sector. So Baywar is a big company anyway, and then they've got Land Handle down the bottom, which is land trading. That's actually originally Norwegian, but it's still very big in Germany, and the companies that do land handle, it's land trading, is buying and selling of agricultural groceries and crops and that kind of thing as well. So you've got the barn and land handle down the bottom there we're going to have a look at, lime station, sawmill, and the mill sell point. We've got the animal dealer, spinnery, Baywar, and biogas. There's not a huge amount else. We've got the shop, but this is another one of those maps that I really like. Contracts are available, like so. we'll have a whiz round and we'll have a look, because it's nice. Now, your main farm area is not that big. On New Farmer, which I'm started on, we've only used 412 out of 1299 slots, which means you've got 887 slots available on console to do whatever you want to. If you start this on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you only start with 323 out of 1299 used, which gives you 976 slots available. That's pretty cool. Now, on Farm Manager and start from scratch, you don't start with any machinery, but you do start with the pig enclosure and the silo, I think, yes, and the silo. They're kind of fixed in place. Now, on this map, the only thing you start with on New Farmer as well is the chicken coop. You don't start with any animals. There are no other animal pens. There are none fixed, none at all. That's entirely up to you what you do with them, where you put them. Like I say, main farmer, and it's weird. I say it's not weird. It's cool. It's probably why I like Geiselsberg as well, is that having been to Erlangen, which is just kind of, I think, just north of Nuremberg, and kind of driving out into the countryside, it's like this. I think I might have mentioned it when I came back from my first trip to Erlangen, how the fields are all very small, and farmers own a few small fields, and you'll have one small crop in one small crop. It's all kind of small farming community stuff, and this really gives that feel very, very nicely. So, machinery, what do we start with? We have two Fendt Favourite. I mean, it's a fairly standard setup, I'll be honest with you. The kind of main in-game things, nothing so overcomplicated. Two Favourites, the Fiat 1300, TX32 with header, a Fortschritt trailer, small cultivator, small seeder, couple of weights, the chicken coop and the grain silo, and that's it. That's all you start with. There are no custom mods on this one, so what you get is the basic standard in-game. Now, interestingly, you don't start with a farmhouse. I tried both the farmhouses, and I couldn't find anywhere it says sleep through the night. So again, that kind of leaves it open for you to place whatever you want to, whatever you need to. We're going to jump in one of these tractors and we'll head out the yard. So like I say, it's not very big. It's not a huge amount going on. There are a few areas around the map, and I don't know. So I tried all of these and didn't get them. Press L3 for the sleep through the night, and nothing's happening. There's another one just over here as well. No, there's nothing showing up as being a house that you own, and there might well be around here somewhere. I might be missing it, but door on the side there as well. Couldn't find one. Right, now there are a few bits around the map like this where it looks like there should be a placeable. There should be a barn or a building or something like that. So I checked in the Mods Hub because I thought, is this one of those maps where it says you need a certain mod pack available? And it doesn't say that, so I don't know if it's the crossover from PC to console. Something's missing, but I'll show you what I mean when we go around. Let's jump into. Let's pick up the weight because it's just easier than driving over it. So at the moment we are pointing directly south. North is that way, and then we've got our east and we've got our west. So we're going to nip out the bottom of our farmyard. I think with the amount of slots available, this is one of those ones that I think could possibly give you a lot of scope for alteration and just doing what you want. This is another one of those ones. It's right up my street, this one. So this is the Baywa sell point, just here. We do start with some crops in the silo. The silo, being a standard in-game one, only takes the main crop types. Doesn't take forage or anything like that. Doesn't take potatoes, sugar beet, or anything additional. Shall I go out this way? Yeah, we'll go this way and then we'll go around. So we're heading west, and this is kind of from here, where the town is, everything stretches out across the countryside. These are like, although they are static, you've got kind of a set up kind of stables already, and then there's, I don't know, the features on it. This is another one of those maps that makes you, it really kind of feels lived in, like there's stuff going on, you know. Here's one of those points I was talking about. You've got the kind of bit here off the side, but then you've got a flat piece that looks like something should have been there, because there's no, it's just a flat grass texture and not a proper grass texture. Unless that's just there for you to put a placeable on or something, I'm not too sure. It's a bit odd. There's a few of those, like I say, dotted about. We've got like a sports field there with a couple of posts and some netting behind it. And then we've got the local, I suppose, log merchant for your log fires, burners and stuff like that. There's all these wood piles everywhere. And what's quite surprising to me and quite impressive is how they've managed to keep the slot count fairly low with so much stuff on it. And there is a lot of detail. There's lots of these little farms dotted about with all different things. I don't know, it just gives you that feeling of an area that's kind of being worked. The land is being worked, you know. Then the fields go off in that direction, various different sizes. It's got some nice sweep to it. It's not billiard table flat, but it's not ridiculously hilly either. I say ridiculously, what I mean is, you know what I mean. Maps that have hills on aren't ridiculous, but it's not to the point where, you know, you're slowing down with a trailer to 2 miles an hour every 5 seconds, you know. What we'll do is whiz up here very quickly, north. I just want to show it off because I think it's brilliant. I know it's early in the morning, I should have probably skipped forward time a little bit so we could, so I'll do that now. I'm managing to do that. I've got my SATEC side panel plugged into my PlayStation, so if anyone asks how you manage to speed up time without going into the menu, I've got a side panel plugged into my PlayStation. There's a few of these bunker silos dotted about. They're not for chaff and anything like that, but you could put crops and stuff in them if you want to. But I think they're there because it's to show that other farmers do use them. Loads of grass pastures. So if you were going to do animals, and looking at these as well, they're fairly flat. So if you're going to place animal pens and things like that, landscaping costs aren't going to be ridiculously high, if at all, which I think is also a very, very nice thing. So what we're going to do is just swing right, and we'll head out towards the biogas plant. Oh yeah, I'm going to show this one as well. This is another one, which I'm assuming is a placeable area. That's the only thing I can kind of get from it. Because you've got this here with another flat bit with no texture on. You've got that bit over there with nothing on it. This whole area has got grass, but only short grass. And then just a little shelter just in the middle of a... So I don't know if on PC there was something else there. I don't know, but it does give you a lot of scope for alterations, you know, for making it your own. And I do think as well, being quite wide and open, other than in the town itself, which is a little bit tight in places, you could get away with some fairly big machinery on this. Like I say, once you've kind of bought a few fields and you look at the size of them, they're not huge each one, but if you buy that one and the next one and then plough them all through, you've got some fair sized fields. You know, there are some fair sized fields already, but you can kind of see that patchwork quilt as we come over the brow looking ahead. That's the field we start off with, field 37, just now right there, or one of the fields we start off with. And we'll come up in the biogas plant. Then we'll head down through the town. We'll go down along the river because it just looks, he says, missing it completely. Now the biogas plant is a little bit tight. You've got 3 bunker silos, again nice, different kind of design, so not the standard fare, but something a little bit different. The digester is just there, the digestate tank is just there, but you can't get through the gap down there to the digester. It's fine if one of your bunker silos is empty, but if you fill all 3 of these up, it means you've got to go out of one entrance and in the other one to get into the other end to where the digester is. It's not a major thing, it's just I'm just pointing out that's what you have to do. There's your digester. And we come back onto the main road, and to the store, which is just here. So we're now heading south. It's very kind of picturesque. I think that's what I like about it. I like maps like this. There's a lot of detail. Oh, that's what I was going to say about the grass. Look, the grass isn't your standard kind of grass texture that we're used to. You've got lots of these little buttercups. Is it buttercups? Yeah, the buttercups, aren't they? In amongst the grass. Again, I think that's probably another thing that gives it a very natural kind of feel to it. And nip into the store. So, your buy point just there. big store. There's nothing, a lot more detail or anything in it, just the building is here. Then you got your customization, repair and sell point just over there. If you reset anything, it resets back here to the store. Right back here on the forecourt, so if you tip something over, stick it in a river, whatever, just for some reason you can't get it back, this is where it will reset to. Back out onto the main road. Through the town itself. And I think what's good as well is because, again, we've got a lot of these up out here. When you come out the back, nice big open space. So if you decided this is going to be my farm, I'm not going to use the main farm, I'm going to use this one. You've got this nice big expanse out here, fairly flat, to build whatever you want. This is good. It's good. I'm liking it, in case you couldn't tell already. So that's the turning where our farm is. I hope I don't miss anything. The spinnery is just here, very, very small, tiny little sell point just there on the right. Keep running down and come to the Livestock Market, which again, it's a very unassuming building. You can tell it's a more kind of industrial, it's not a house or anything like that. This is your Livestock Market, just here. We've only got chickens at the moment, that's why it's showing that. There are no other pens on the map at the moment. Then we come out the southern part of the town into the open country. I don't know if that's the fire station. Is that the left hand side? Possibly. Fuel, where is it? But yeah, I don't know. The buildings are right, you know, it just kind of, it fits. It all kind of fits. And then we open out into the open countryside. And that goes right the way off down there, down to the southwest, all open countryside. And across to the left there, up the hill a little bit towards the forest. We're going to take a left in a second. Oh, that was good timing. Oh, it's because I was thinking, I completely forgot about the time. I was thinking to myself, oh, the lighting's far, far better now. Then forgot to turn the speed back down, so we're now getting dark. That was genius of me, wasn't it? Not too dark, I can't carry on. I changed my mind about the light. I've gone through to the next day. I wanted to show it off properly. Right, so we are coming up on the sawmill, which is just here. We have got a water point. Now in the changelog it does say this was added. So that's what makes me think it was on PC first, and console's kind of been added on. But this is a water refill point just by the river, so you back up to there and fill up. We have got our log sell point and our wood chip sell point. Nothing over the top, very compact, very minimalist. Everything that needs to be here is here. And then we've got next sell point. Just tucked around the corner here. This one, I'm going to check the map for because I can't remember. Mine's gone blank. Oh yeah, this is UNGETSHEIM Mühle, the mill sell point. So you've got the sawmill and the mill sell point. There's the lime station, which is that silo just ahead of us. Just there. We're going to continue down this eastern side of the map, heading south, because there's a couple of sell points down the bottom, but this is the bit I just love. The Vernitz River. And I like the fact you've got this little low valley bit here. The low-lying land with all these pastures. Like a floodplain type thing, but this river just looks brilliant. I love the way it kind of winds its way down the valley on one side of the map. Yeah, just, I don't know. It looks pretty. It's just nice, and it's not a dead straight look, here's a river. It kind of follows the whole... That's brilliant. There aren't a huge amount of crossing points over the river, and that, I would imagine, is true to life. It's not, you know, you haven't got a crossing point every 100 metres kind of thing. There are only a few, so whether people are going to find that frustrating or not, that will be a personal thing, how you feel about, you know, which side of the river you're going to be working on. I think it adds a kind of hint of realism. I'm going to whiz up very, very quickly. I'm just thinking, can we go up to the forest? Bear with me just 1 second. We'll see you up there. We're going to head up to the eastern, very eastern side of the map. So we'll just run on the edge of one of the forest bits. I just want to show you just up into the forest because it's kind of, again, it's nice. It's There's a lot of trees, there's no shortage of forestry, and like I said right at the very start, I like the fact you can buy this in small, manageable chunks to do the forestry you want to do and come back out. Some maps will have forests on which are incredibly sparse, so it's kind of a nod to, yes, you can do some forestry, but there's not actually a huge amount you can do. There's no shortage here, but there's a real mixture of trees as well, so you won't be able to do all of them, but again, that's kind of feels right, you know. So we're going to head back down to that main track. I'll see you down there in a second. Okay, continuing south. Now, the thing I will say, it does say on in the Modhub about custom fruits. I was driving past one of the fields when I had a quick look earlier, and it was a cornfield, but as I drove past I thought they'd added a new crop type. So I'm assuming the custom fruits, they've adjusted some of the different crops to look, because it didn't look like a normal corn crop, but it was corn. It was corn that was growing in the field. I checked it. So again, it's a nice touch. I like that. And then we come down to the bottom. We have got land handle and the barn sell point. Land handle is just there. It does say in the Modhub as well, the barn sell point trigger has been extended. So maybe it was back underneath the barn and you couldn't maybe get into it. That's the barn sell point, and there's land handle. Now looking back to the map, so we've kind of come past the mill here, cut up into the woodland, just have a quick look on there. We come all the way back down, we're now down at land handle and barn. Let's say once you cross the Vernitz River, sorry, it's all fields all across here. There's some roads and tracks and things like that. There's no other sell points. And then you've got some more forestry over on the left-hand side. Again, a lot of people don't like small maps, or maps with small fields is probably the best way of putting it. This I like a lot. It just has a very nice natural feel. I know I've said that repeatedly. This is definitely right up my street as the type of map I enjoy. I think the attention to detail, it just has a very real feel to it. That's my own personal preference. You may be watching this video thinking, can't stand it, hate it. Again, you're entitled to your opinion, of course you are. I like it. There you go. So it's UNGETSHEIM. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Why is all the traffic stopped? UNGETSHEIM by Butarinur. I'm going to whiz across here just to one of the crossings while we're at it, just because I want to go near the river again. We'll kind of bit of a tonk out across the countryside. Yeah, cool. Yeah, look at that. That's not normal. It just looks different. I don't know why. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you found it useful and informative. Even just have a look and get a feel for the map. Even if it's just to decide it's not for me. If you have found it useful or informative, or you've just enjoyed it, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.